Hello and welcome to the Wide World of Wargaming Age of Sigmar podcast. As always, we're your hosts, Alex, John, Jeremy, and Garrett. This is going to be the final episode with us hosts. It has been a pleasure being with you guys. We're going to talk about a little bit of a review, as it were, with the podcast as a whole. Remember some of our favorites here and talk about the road ahead. Before we do so, though, as always, John, what's on that workbench of yours?
One final time, what's on your workbench? The running joke for 75 episodes. What's on your workbench? This week on my workbench, a beautiful Cayo. There's where is it? Cayo whiskey. It's the one my son bought me for Father's Day, and there we go. And about halfway through it, I should have tallied up the total number of whiskey bottles that I managed to get my way through.
Truly should have.
In this show. Other than that, this week I played some 40K with my buddy Sean. We did a little Space Wolves against Bobby G. And all I got to say is that with higher scoring comes higher embarrassment. So we called it on T4 at 78-16.
Wow.
And, not in favor of Bobby G. All I got to say is Ragnar's a little broken in melee. Other than that, still fun game. Had a good old time. Was nice to roll dice and get the boys in blues out and about. Other than that, my chili garden is nicely ripening. So as a little treat for our listeners, as I go through tonight's episode, I'm going to make my way through a variety of chilies from the garden. And some of these are hot. Some of these are sweet. And we even have to... nice little French chili that I was showing Jeremy earlier. Should be delicious. So we'll get to that in a little bit. And as I pass the mic over to my good buddy Garrett and find out what's on his workbench, I'm going to start the evening with this fine Koyana chili, which is running about 100,000 Scoville. Should be the hottest chili I have in front of me tonight. So go big or go home. Garrett, what's on your workbench?
Sorry, I just wanted to let you finish that before I continue. So I myself am drinking a classic Bold Rock. This is a blackberry hard cider. And this week, I was planning on playing a game with our good buddy Michael Schwartz, who just recently moved out to Northern Virginia with his lovely wife. But he got busy this weekend, and so he was unable to make it.
Why did he get busy?
Why did he get busy? I don't know if I'm at liberty to talk about what is going on in his life right now, so I will let him discuss that at a later time. But he definitely has some exciting things going on, and it is good times. But I will catch up with him soon.
So he told me he didn't have a baby or anything just now.
No.
He told he just didn't have a baby today or last night.
We shouldn't congratulate him on biologically surviving at all.
Yeah. He did have his baby last night, so he did not make it to my house on Sunday.
There we go.
But very exciting stuff. Really happy for him. He's I think on the downward slope of a very high stress weekend of trying to get work done before his baby got delivered. But so I decided to break out and start building some of my 40K terrain I've had kicking around for a while. This is some wonderful stuff from Frontline Gaming.
Wow.
Huh?
That looks like a nightmare now in 9th.
What is that?
Yeah.
Terrain?
Wow. I look at this and I'm just like, I'm waiting for Jeremy's reaction. Oh, shit.
So this is the Orc Great Hall. This is from their Orc line of terrain.
Like an Oogie Boogie face on there.
Then they have these nice little L's.
Outdated L's.
Well, actually, I mean, they're 5 inches tall, so you just call them obscuring.
They're ruined, so they are, wait, hold on. They are
They are indeed obscuring. Don't worry, he doesn't have to get
Among other things.
Oh,
Yeah,
but-
among other things. And then I haven't finished this one yet, but it's a nice watchtower. It'll be about like this tall. I have 2 more of these built already.
See, the problem I'm running into for my terrain is I have a bunch of FLG2 for 40K. It's not conducive to the new edition at all, in my opinion.
No.
I even have a
So-
bunch of L-shaped ones that are open. They're not that conducive to.
They are going to be scalable, breachable, light cover, defensible, and obscuring.
That's still irrelevant. I can't wait to see your table, Garrett, and I want to see some of your games from your house. I don't want to watch you TO some tournaments by not TOing. So I am looking forward to.
I found some new ways to not TO even more.
Oh yeah,
so-
I saw the Discord. Holy shit!
Right? Yeah.
Wow,
so
they were
I've released.
They were like, how many times do I have to trigger Garrett or something? And I was like, oh my god, I'm not even going to scroll up and see what happened.
So
They were
destroyed. No, it's so I've released. There's a new feature in Best Coast Pairings where you can score your games without a pin now. So for online tournaments, it makes it a lot easier. You could just it requires some trust of both players to just basically say like one person enters the score and it just submits. But there's some transparency. You can be like, I didn't get that, so you could just change the score, and you can get a whatever. But it's a setting that TO can turn on to make it easier for online tournaments to happen. Which means me as a TL, I don't have to sit there and collect scores anymore for my players when they can just report them themselves. And I realized I should just write a fancy trigger that once the last score gets submitted, it just auto-generates the next pairings for me. So I don't even have to generate pairings anymore. So I literally just have to start the first round pairings, and then the event runs itself, and I can walk away. I don't have to TO anymore.
I have something to say about this.
When God stops listening to people's prayers.
I just want to point out that, like, apparently, for all the audience out there who loves the BCP app, decisions on how things are added to BCP are how little effort can Garrett do to manage the app. It's what it comes down to.
No, 100%.
There are jokes there that are not meant to be said.
You're just like
the less
every
I would
other
have to
engineer I know. It's like just like every other engineer I know.
The less work I would have to do, the less work another TO would have to do. So
Sure.
it benefits everybody.
If you want to know the process, ask a lazy man to design it.
That's right.
But
That's been proven true for a long time. That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, just working on the 40K terrain. I am intrigued by your analysis. I have definitely been trying to scour the internet and people to try to figure out what a good table of 40K terrain would look like. And I have come up with nothing. No one has really had any good information. What, Jeremy?
No, I was going to say, you know that John on Sunday told us we're not running enough terrain because...
Oh, and then 2 other people also said, hey, there's not enough terrain.
Right.
Mind you,
What was your recommendation for terrain, John?
1 per square foot. That's what it says.
So I did the math.
Yeah, 16.5.
No, it's 10.
What?
The tables are smaller. They're 40 by 60 or 42 by 60 now. So in terms of square footage, it's like 10 pieces on average.
He's got his
44
calculator out of
inches.
his phone.
He's
looking at it.
We got the calculator here. So
All right.
42,
Well,
enter.
I did the math under the influence of whiskey, so we'll find that.
144 divided by 17.5.
Woo-hoo!
I'll do the math again,
Hey,
but I'm
what do
pretty
we
sure I
have?
can do it again.
What did we have? Did we have like 12 or something, right?
We had 13.
13.
44
Yeah,
times 60.
12, 13, and
Better
14.
I love everybody's like busting out
Yeah.
their calculators to do this.
I'm
Weekend
not busting out my calculator. I don't give a fuck.
16 GW ruins from the Imperial Sector whole thing. So, like the big square buildings, the tall triple towers, all that. 16 pieces. In fact, we basically just made sure we had enough room for all the tanks to move in between the buildings, and that was it. And I still got my ass shot off, even with obscuring and all of that. Like
Whoa.
terrain. It was great. That the whole game was about maneuvering. Ooh, jump out, kill, ah, die. Oh.
I'll save other comments for later, but I was gonna say obscuring is not actually obscuring.
Right. I mean, as long as you don't touch the train,
Don't touch this.
Just don't touch the terrain and it's obscuring.
It's obscuring against your against
like,
the firing
hey,
unit that's on the other side of the table.
I'm not in the terrain. I'm clearly on this side of the terrain, not touching it. I'm clearly on this side, not touching it.
It's a little problematic because the size of the runes they talk about are like they're fairly big. They're like usually like 10 by 10 inches squares effectively. So I'm just like
for 12.
It's kind of like it's cool, but also kind of like shit. If you need 18 pieces of terrain on the table, there's no way you can't not just touch an obscuring piece.
I'm wondering if they count like scattered terrain as a single piece of terrain.
Yeah.
So it's like a crate.
I just wish they had voiced like true line of sight takes precedence in an obscuring to a terrain piece. So if you can't see it, even though you're standing in it, you can't shoot at it. And then they would have resolved it to, but I can see you, then and you're touching terrain, thus you can be seen. The problem is like right now, like all these like the terrains you have, Garrett, like it doesn't matter. There are hard blocking walls. Like as long as like somebody touches this, like I can shoot through those walls. So
yeah.
It's a little like I'm like, why don't we just have true line of sight for the most part? Come on.
Anyway. I mean, from what I've heard, it's supposed to be true line of sight. Some people play it. I don't know. I've heard debate otherwise. I'm coming in as a complete fresh start. I get to read the rules with absolutely no I don't have to worry about what 8th edition was. I'm just going to read it as if it was a brand new game, and I'm going to see what my take on it. I haven't gotten the rulebook yet.
Look at you, man.
Yeah. I haven't gotten the rulebook yet. I haven't gotten anything, so I'm just kind of building the terrain I have. I'm not trying to be corrupted by any biases or whatever. So I haven't really committed to anything. I just was like, I have this terrain. I've had it sitting around for like 2-3 years now. When 8th edition first came out, I bought a table, and so I decided to start building.
Sorry, I was gonna say they gave me everything I wanted in 9th edition, which was terrain rules. So I can't complain. Now I'm excited for it. I'm just after my Sunday stream of Alex, I'm just like, holy fuck! Like
it's less
terrain is more of like, well, you could use it, but it's really not that like line of sight blocking. So it's like
I don't know. I feel like your one game might not be indicative of how.
Oh, of course not.
Like I think we need to play around with it a lot, see how other people are playing around with it, and maybe I do think that how people have used terrain in the past needs to change. You can't just slap an 8th edition terrain set on the table and expect it to work. You need to terrain needs to be think about from the ground up, based off the new rules, and that's my plan. Is like I'm going to read how terrain works and be like, okay, so given these rules, what would actually work? Because I mean, if you're touching an obscuring terrain, but you can't shoot through a different obscuring, so if you have double stacking obscuring, that still starts obscuring, and little things like that.
The question is, are you going to put 18 small to medium pieces of terrain on the table, or 18 like medium to large pieces of terrain table? Because like I was, I was thinking about that after our game on Sunday. I'm like, man, tanks fucking suck in this edition.
Yeah, honestly,
shoot in combat.
They
my
fucking
position,
suck. If there's 18 pieces of terrain that's fairly large, like, holy God, they can't even go through most of them.
I'm not really going to pay attention to, like, 18 pieces of terrain or whatever. I'm just going to be, like, try to play a bunch of games with, like, maybe try to play against Guard, which uses tanks, like, play a tank-heavy army, play a non-tank-heavy army, and just see what works and be like, okay, what is fair? Like, let's just play a game, see how it works, and just do terrain that feels good, because we have terrain rules fine. So let's actually try to find a way to use the terrain rules that make everybody happy. That's what I'm going to try to do. I just have no experience yet, so I can't make any decisions. So I just need to start. That's why I'm building.
I'm going to go in my rat hole for all this. So
why don't we go to your workbench then? You can start ranting on your work.
Sounds like we're ready for Jeremy's.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so excited about 9th edition. And I'm turning 35 pretty much around the time this podcast comes out.
Dirty 35.
Really?
Yeah, I'm halfway to the grave. And 1 foot in.
You think your maximum life expectancy is going to be 70? Holy fuck.
It's not that far off, actually. It's not that far off. What's the average male life expectancy in the United States?
Above 70 now.
No, it's not. It's like around
It's
70.
above. It's above 70.
I think it's like maybe it's between 67 and 72 within that range.
Now, what's the life expectancy for people who actually make it over 60? That's the one.
That is a fantastic question.
Yeah. So, like I said, keeping a positive light to this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm spending my weekend playing 40K in AOS. My friend's Ben Schmoller's house in Bend with Alex and his fiance. Even though she will not be partaking in any of the games,
She will not. She's gonna be a Warhammer Widow.
She will give us the warmer widow stare down during the middle of the games. I am currently on my workbench drinking some Hibiki, which me and Alex started drinking last Sunday. It is one of my favorite Japanese whiskey that's still available to buy in the U.S. markets. And
is it bottled in Canada though? Because Suntory is bottled in Canada.
I don't know. I actually don't know. It's probably because it's a
Should
Suntory.
be on the label.
It's a Suntory whiskey, so probably.
Okay.
But it's bottled in a place doesn't mean it's actually aged there. So keep that in mind.
That's true.
So I was going to say, I'm looking forward to bust up my Lagavulin 16 for my birthday over this weekend. That is my favorite scotch, and I plan on drinking that bottle mostly by myself, which I'm sorry to tell you all over the weekend. You're going to have to fight me for a sip. And then, but, continuing to rant a little bit. I should actually talk about really what's on my word. Still painting Lumineth, assembling Sisters of Battle. Really psyched about trying a White Scar Marine Army with the new edition. Really love the Assault Intercessors. I also really love the Eradicators. They make 100% sense in a White Scar Army that's like kind of drop transport heavy. So we'll see what it comes out of it. But the rent continues. Also, we were on the Rentcast on Saturday, and trust me, there was not enough renting on that show. So
not nearly enough renting.
And I was making up for it right now. I am going to say that one of the terrain big change. So I really love the smaller table size. I am totally pro smaller table size. I think that is great for the game. The problem I have with the terrain rules is that they did not go enough, in my opinion. I kind of wanted, like I said, I really thought they were going to introduce true line of sight back to the game with terrain mechanics. And what ended up happening is we got true line of sight, but terrain mechanic trumps true line of sight. And I can't tell if they intended it that way, or if it's just kind of maybe they just thought it was self-obvious and just haven't clarified. I don't know. We'll see in a couple of weeks anyway what ends up happening. We played one mission on Sunday. I played my first game of Ninth, and Alex had a rough day. The game ended in one turn that took 3 hours. So, hey, we were on time, I guess. But no,
we were looking. We had a lot to look at there. There was a lot of back and forth to make sure we were getting the rules right.
We were waiting through, and then I'm so rusty. I haven't played 40K.
Oh, he was so rusty. I mean, granted, it kind of.
It didn't matter if you were that rusty, but you roll those kind of
Well, the thing is, what? So there's two things that happen, right? There's the army disparagers, which is about 80% of the reason why I won, and then there's 20% of it is Alex still takes baits. Alex is 100% the player that still takes.
Here baits. I go, getting bait again.
So for context, I had 2 units of infiltrators and a big block of devastator in the center of my army on a kind of a corner to corner deployment. And Alex basically split his entire army between all 3 of those flank fronts. And I was just saying, in my head, I was
took the wrong secondary.
Yeah, I was in my head, I was just I get he wants to play the objectives, but I was just it's just so much. Even if my army wasn't as killy as it was, it would have been just so much easier. Okay, I'm going to take out that flank. Shit, now Alex is nothing, can't do anything about that flank. And then, it just becomes ripping it apart piece by piece for the rest of the game. So it was good. I would recommend, if you guys want to watch it, go on the stream and watch it. But I will say caveat, we are not doing a good job at good. We're learning the edition. We're not confident what the hell we're doing. It's a pretty fucking mess. But anyway, Alex, continue on, my sir.
Oh yeah, dude, that was not a fucking game. There were the power levels. The power levels between Necrons and Space Marines are absurdly different. We were playing two different games. Regardless of me taking bait, we were playing two completely different games. Now, granted, I will say I only brought Navok Dynasty, which is close combat oriented, because of the fact that people are, especially on Reddit, are fantastic in like the only instance where it's actually real in the real world where someone sees an image and goes enhance, and like it actually enhances and you like find the details out correctly, rather than just having like a worse image to look at then. And they were able to see from the preview in the Games Workshop video what all six Necron dynasties that are going to be available in the next codex, what at least 2/3 of each one of their rules are. And we were able to see that Navok Dynasty is having a pretty big change. Changing from reroll all hits in the combat phase if they make a charge, get charged, or perform a heroic intervention, to instead being +1 AP in combat and +1 to charge. Every single dynasty has a special third ability that happens during some certain instance that we don't know about yet.
You guys get combat doctrines called command protocols. Don't worry about it.
There's gonna be something going on there. But I'm a filthy Xenos player. I don't fucking know. But we it was a bad game, you guys. It was a bad game. They should not have been on the same table. Space Marines are a tier S army, and Necrons are like a tier 36,000 army.
I think insult or injury was the fact that like you're like, oh good, I have all this cover, and you're like, Imperial Fist, I don't care about your cover save.
Oh yeah, once I realized that Imperial Fist didn't have cover, and then I did one of my 3 secondaries was an incorrect one to choose. And then after Jeremy was like, well, why don't you just use this one instead? I was like, no, we're gonna keep it. Learn by my mistakes.
There was quite a bit of salt in that game.
Yes. That's how I got my electrolytes that day.
Yeah, there you go. It's what plants crave. And then after that, we played an Age of Sigmar game. We did draw at the end only, specifically because neither of us created or set up any sort of secondaries or hidden agendas or whatever they're called now. We did not, so there was no win-loss factor on tying the primary objective. If we did it old school wise, it definitely would have had a minor loss. So we were just like, fuck it, whatever. We didn't pay attention. Our bad.
Oh yeah.
In the future, we're gonna have to take a closer look into the secondaries in the General's Handbook now. I did not play.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say. But the cool thing is, we got to see Orcs beat the shit out of Fire Slayers. They didn't win, but they beat the shit out of Fire Slayers.
They beat the shit out of Fire Slayers, not because of the Fire Slayers, but because of me. It's been a long time since I've had to fight against Fire Slayers. So despite me knowing how the army works to a semi-competent degree, they all look like they're all gingers with beards and naked. So to me, they all pretty much look the same. But in addition to that, I was not properly protecting or bubble wrapping my heroes, which I should have. And I realized that in the game that we played, which was Places of Arcane Power, was not really playing all that smart. Should have just taken 2 objectives. I tried to go and get all 3. I lasted way longer in certain corners of the map than I thought I could, but that's just how Fire Slayers work. And yeah,
Question.
It was.
Were you saying that the Grimwrath Berserkers can score the objectives in the Places of Arcane Power?
No, they can't. But I was.
Yeah, I was going to say they can't.
We just. It doesn't matter.
Wait.
We're because he's not a leader. But
they changed Places of Arcane Power from hero to leader, and he's not a leader.
We played it the entire game.
Flat out lost. So I just.
Well, we played it like he could, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like your decisions are still correct. But
just checking. I was like, wait a minute. Those Grimwraths can't score.
All right. Yeah, Garrett. He's sugarcoating this way more than it needs to be. We didn't just count it as that. I literally did not know until you just told me. So yeah, no, I flat out lost. Hard, tight. Good to know.
I mean, I didn't realize that until after the game either. When I went back and
Oh yeah.
I actually just realized it right now. I was like, wait a minute. He had Grimwrath Berserkers. Those can't score in Places of Arcane Power.
I was thinking about it over because I was thinking about bringing my Fire Slayers over this weekend, and I was just like, I want to bring my 6 Grimwrath Berserker list. I'm like, Oh wait, they're not leaders anymore.
They're not leaders.
For this.
Wow.
Well, they've never been leaders. They've just
Well,
always been heroes.
I played the army with about 6 minutes of prep, so
Yeah.
how was I to know, right?
You should
Well,
probably do some more prep in those future
6
Sunday
minutes of
night
threats
games.
and 1 year of losing to them. So I mean, I don't know.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Anyways.
That was what it is. He just wanted to see them lose.
It's some 7D chess I'm playing here, you guys.
I mean,
Quarantine hasn't degraded my mental capacity to fucking play at all.
I've never played cities, but I played against them enough to know how they work. Just pointing it out.
Anyways, so yeah, on my workbench, I obviously played these 2 games. We are going to be going down to Bend this weekend for Jeremy's Dirty 35. He's apparently halfway to the grave, despite the life expectancy in the United States being a little different. The United States has a life expectancy for...
Well, it's 78.5, but it includes a female and male, and it's dropping. So by the time I get to 78, it might drop
78.9 overall, 81.4 for women in the United States, and 76.3 for men. That's still above 70.
He's from France.
It's still above
That's gotta
70.
drop him a little bit, right?
But it's dropping. I'm looking at this graph. It's going
still
down.
Above 70. Still above
So
70.
I might be 70 when it might be 70 by the time I get there.
Well, maybe I don't know. Who knows? I gotta say, shout out to anyone in Hong Kong because they have the highest life expectancy for men.
Not anymore.
Very cool.
Now.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
And also the biggest overall life expectancy besides Japan. So very cool. But I am not going to make any additional statements that might get us sucked or whatever. So I'm going to shut the fuck up about this now. I have been building my Indominus. I'm just about done with I finished all my Scarabs. I had 40 warriors from 2 separate Indominus sets. 15 of them have the Gauss Reapers. The other remaining 25 have Gauss Flayers because I already have like over 100 Necron Warriors at this point. I don't need more Gauss Flayers. Shocking. And Flayers seem cool. Who knows if they're going to actually be good or not. I built a couple of Crypto Thralls, and I'm building my Overlord. I know this has nothing to do with Age of Sigmar, but you guys, we've all been talking a little bit about games that are not Age of Sigmar anyways. And of course, In Your Face Media is not just going to be 40K. It's going to be split up between the 2. But I took my, the Plasma Caster, which is the Indominus box set Cryptech. His rules are bad. He's dumb. He's stupid. So I decided I was going to convert because I had talked to Jeremy about it. I had shown him the sprue for the Overlord. And the Overlord's blade is Hyperphase Reap Glaive. Kind of a mouthful there. It not only is it big, clunky, and ugly looking, but it's actually worse than a normal War Scythe. It's the same stats as a War Scythe, but it's Ren 3 instead of 4. Why the fuck would you use it? And it's D3 damage rather than a flat 2. Personally, not a big fan. So I decided that I was going to take the 2 Cryptech weapons, the blades from both Cryptechs, basically add 1 extra blade to another, and I came up with this very cool little thing, only to discover that Illuminor Ceres's staff is this exact item. It is, and look online, you can see this image. You can take a look at the Cryptech from Indominus set, look really closely at the staff head, then you look at Illuminor Ceres. It's the exact same thing, but with an extra blade on the side. I shit you not. It is, which I get it. Like all Games Workshop models are 3D CADs right now. It makes complete sense that they would just simplify things, make things easy. More power to them. I fucking pray for them or whatever. I have, but Age of Sigmar wise, we played that game. We're going to be playing some games this weekend. I'm going to test out the new Mortis Praetorians list this weekend against Jeremy and our friends, Schmoller and Cody and other such great people. I'm also going to be playing Seraphon for the first time. Our good friend, teammate, and friend of the show, Aaron Albert, has he's got a big collection of different items because he sells used Warhammer miniatures, whether it's 40K, whether it's Age of Sigmar, whether it's fucking Lord of the Rings fantasy battles or whatever. So he's got a big stockpile of stuff, and I'm actually probably going to be buying a few things off of him at the end of the weekend anyways. But he started up a Seraphon army himself. So he is going to be bringing a bunch of Seraphon down to Bend with him from Idaho, and I am probably going to test a few things out, maybe test the Kotal's Claw list, and I'm excited to try it out. We'll see if it is going to be worthwhile. I've already pretty much bought the list anyways, and it's on its way in a variety of different shipments. Some things are used, some things are new on sprue. I ended up eBay sniping a relatively new engine, or a newer model for the Engines of the Gods without the main crest for the front of the kind of platform. But I also got for incredibly cheap from another eBay snipe a original Stegodon, which doesn't have the Engine of the God bits. So now I'm like, how do I turn it into an Engine of the Gods? Like, I'm going to have an extra skink priest I have nothing to do with. So obviously I'm going to magnetize a skink priest to be on top. But like, I might use some Necron bits and make some weird little fucking curvy little old ones.
Maybe get some old monolith crystals.
I have a bunch of old monolith crystals, and I have old laser cut card terrain crystals that were meant for Necron terrain too, that are more pointed. So I have a lot, but Bastilagon crystals look similar to monolith crystals, and I have at least 4 of those. So might use Necron bits on the old one, which like barely fits on the fucking base that a Stegodon should fit on, but I think I'm gonna make a second Engine of the Gods out of that guy, because it's coming in the mail anyways. I got nothing to do with it. So, we got that on our way, and we're gonna start that up, and I'm very excited to start a Seraphon, a non-death army, just in general. Nothing else on my workbench though. We of course want to talk about this being our last episode. We are switching to In Your Face Media. We got a lot going on. We got a lot to talk about, but with this is of course is a review episode. We want to talk about the good times, the salty times, and everything else in between. So, in order to do so, I will tell you guys that we all have our own favorite episodes. We've been here for 75 episodes, 85 if you count the first 10 episodes that were combined into these massive, clunky, big segments that had both 40K and AOS and X-Wing all together. And, we would give time cards for each one. But I want to talk about some of our favorite moments here, some of our favorite experiences. Let's do it like we do with the workbench. Jeremy, can you tell me about some of your experiences in the wide world of Wargaming, some of your favorites?
So many scotches drinked, so many games discussed. No, I think I still think to this day my favorite episode is the one that John basically solo carried with LVO, but also I think it's because John was there doing he was the voice of AOS LVO competitive scene for LVO this year, so it was cool to be. That was probably one of my favorite moments. I think my other probably secondary favorite moment is the amount of shit we gave Garrett about being a shitty TO. So I mean that's more recent, but I have to say I really enjoyed that, and I hope it never ends. Hope we're transferring that to the new.
As long as I continue to be a shitty TO, you will continue to give me shit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Get you.
I like to, instead of being a shitty TO, a non-interactive, non-doing anything TO.
There you go.
Yeah.
I still think that's shit. But anyway, and then finally,
my players enjoy it, so suck it.
I mean, I'm looking right now at your Discord, and are you sure that they like it?
Oh yeah.
Seems like you have a riot on your hand. You might want to tear gas them.
Oh God.
I was gonna, and then finally, I think my favorite thing we did and worldwide is basically getting together and doing this. and then now evolving to our new, I guess transition in this venture we're on. So I want to thank Alex, John, Garrett for all your work and basically making that transition. Yes, Alex, we can see your face.
No, I was looking for something different, but yes.
So yeah, I don't know what else to say about, other than saying cheers to 75 episodes and hopefully 75 and more to go, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
Garrett?
Thanks, Jeremy. That was wonderful. So I want to say my most memorable experience on this was when we did the Skaven Battletome review. So if I remember correctly, so Skaven and Flesh Eater Courts came out together, and we didn't talk about Flesh Eater Courts that much. So John and I got to get into it and talk about the Vermilord Warpseer for about 30 minutes. I think Jeremy was Jeremy was off. And so John and I just went back and forth on this Skaven Battletome review for this was back when we were trying to stick to an hour. And so we were pushing up on the hour. And I was in a hotel in Toronto during this episode. So it was just a very memorable experience for me, just alone, sitting in a hotel room on my laptop with my headphones on, just going off on this Skaven Battletome about the ridiculousness of this Vermilord Warpseer for 260 points. Remember that, John? Remember when your Warpseer only cost 260 points?
And that's stacking shrug saves?
I'm shocked.
With stacking shrug saves, his ridiculous spell that no one uses anymore.
Funny.
So that was probably the most memorable experience for me. It's just that's what's been enjoyable is even if I'm on the road or we're talking about recording at LVO, just being able to just get together with you guys, just spend an hour, now 3, just goofing off and talking shit about Age of Sigmar for a while and getting our voices out there. So that's just been the most the best my idea that I got out of all this thing. It's just an enjoyable time to spend with you guys, get our voices heard, and yeah. So John, what about you? What has been your favorite, most memorable, best experiences, overall opinion of the show that you got?
Yeah, it's been a journey. I will say that. I mean, I can remember back to our first pre-episodes. Is this even going to happen? Are we really going to do a podcast? Who will listen? Our first episode.
Seriously, fuck.
And then it started to take off, and like you said, for me, my favorite episodes, both of them were the post-LVO episodes. Really, I always liked the episodes where we talked about GTs, but when it was LVO, it was all of us together, really excited and talking.
I missed both of those episodes, by the way.
Yeah, but you were part of the LVO. You were still there. So the excitement, and you certainly the lead up, and the whole LVO was 2 or 3 episodes of lead up. The LVO, 2 or 3 episodes post talking about it. Even the interview show, all those things were pretty cool. For me, there's certainly learned a lot. In these last few months, I've learned a lot about video editing, but just in recording in general, podcasting, the whole 9 yards, engaged in different things a little more. Another thing that's been like a surprise, and you got to remember that maybe for the last year, we've really been solid. The 4 of us have really been solid, but there was a while when maybe Garrett wasn't as regular on the show, and we didn't have Jeremy very often, and Alex and I were struggling to get co-hosts here and there, and episodes where it was just Alex and I, and we're just like, fuck it, should we just do this? Let's just do this. And we're always, each time going, we're like, man, are we even going to even have anything to talk about? And 90 minutes later,
90 fucking minutes later, we're like, oh, I guess we're done.
And so I think those were some of my favorite moments, were little things like that and recording. Beyond that, it's been engaging the audience, personal messages from people, a couple bottles of whiskey that people have gotten for me, drinks. So certainly drinking on the air gets people to buy you drinks. Getting the opportunity to be the voice of the LVO for AOS was, of course, a high point personally. So all that. So those are all the things that I enjoyed. It's been an amazing ride. But you know what? I'm ready to completely get in your face starting next week. A little new format, new things. So I'm super excited. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm fucking ready for this son bitch to be done. And I'm ready to fucking explode on the goddamn world with in-your-face media. And what about you, Alex? You excited, my friend? Are you fired up for this?
Oh, dude, I'm fucking rocked up. So, to quote my twin, he's got a tattoo with like a rat and something that says rocked up. That just gives you an insight as to who my other half is.
Well,
The
other half.
The other half, yeah. So the one side to the other, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna get in trouble with that. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Anyways, yeah, I have had so much enjoyment in this entire endeavor. Vince, who was on our last episode, about a year, almost 2 years ago, he reached out to me and said, hey, I want to start a podcast. Do you want to help produce it? And I said, absolutely. I did the 40K podcast for some time with him as one of the main hosts as well. And then the Age of Sigmar one. Eventually, it kind of leaned towards the Age of Sigmar one as I kind of like threw my hands up in the air and said, fuck it with Necrons, and just went like, cool, I'm going to play an army that I win with, So, yeah, it's been a whole journey, especially since we're now all slowly showing some interest in 40K as well, despite me desperately needing a codex and being completely wiped off the table by Imperial Fist list that's not optimized. We obviously have had a lot going on. We've been doing a lot for these episodes. And, my favorite episode, I got to kind of agree with John in a way. The kind of first episodes that were all based around, or the episodes that were based around LVO have always been kind of near and dear to my heart. Specifically, episode 52, which was Conquerors of the Realms, was easily one of my favorite episodes to have. Not only because we were all kind of still shell-shocked at the results of LVO and how LVO was for us, like Jeremy and myself, and, trying to bring back home a bunch of shit. But, being able to talk about things, shoot the shit, talk about LVO, it's always a good time. And the bonus episode that John recorded, of course, was an amazing episode. He was able to get some insight from myself and Garrett and Jeremy, but also so many other people in the community. The winners for, LVO, for Age of Sigmar, the top 8 individuals, the TOs, judges, etc. Getting those special insights, that is so key, so important. And honestly, I'm glad John had the patience to get that done. I think that that's great. I did fail to mention during our workbench that, just like Jeremy mentioned, we were, Garrett, Jeremy, and I were all on Mr. Meff's AOS Rantcast. Being able to be a part of this community and a part of a community that is all about, making sure that we can be as supportive to each other when it comes to the hobby, when it comes to competitive play, when it comes to less competitive play, casual play, and when it comes to things even beyond that, even beyond the game itself, is huge. And I got to say, being able to be a part of something like the AOS Rantcast was huge. Jeremy, again, briefly did mention it, but I want to go into more detail. It was all about this Rantcast-a-thon for this year, all based around Health America's I Don't Mind campaign, which is all about mental health awareness and advocacy. And I personally, on a professional scale, I'm I'm a health coach. So being able to try to focus on health and wellness of individuals, even when it comes to mental health, which I'm absolutely not qualified to deal with, is just such a great thing to try to work with. And he ended up getting over his goal by a few $100s, which was a several $1,000 goal for his,
he got like $7,100 or something like that.
It was actually, bear with me, I just had these numbers in front of me a moment ago. He did meet at least a couple of $100 above what he was looking at. I think it was like 7,600 over the $7,000 goal, and he has previously had other charity drives for things like Black Lives Matter. So which is incredibly important. So I gotta say, like, he's being a part of that is huge. Even if we shut the shit, even if we had zero conversation about competitive play, we had 2 hours of basically us talking about lore in Age of Sigmar, and Mr. Meff and I talking about how we like Nagash, and everyone else saying fuck off Nagash. So
I just remember distinctively telling him that Nagash and Archeon share very similar stories, and I think it's bullshit.
They are not similar stories at all.
What are you talking about?
Okay. No. Hold on. Now I'm going to dive into.
No, we're not going into this.
No, I don't care.
If you want to see the breakdown, go watch Meff's Rantcast Marathon playlist on YouTube.
Yes. That goes over Archeon's story arc. Nagash's story arc has nothing to do with Archeon's. He's not like the bastard son of somebody who ended up being a Chaos Worshiper and have weird in deep sea.
No, they both ended up being member of the clergy and both wanted to conquer the world. Yeah, of course, not at all similar.
Nagash was not a member of the Sigmarite clergy or the.
No, he was a member of his version of the clergy.
Which we had nothing to do with. It was before the Empire ever existed, bro.
But you keep referring to clergy as only Sigmar. Clergy is a term of religious organization.
The word clergy is not even mentioned in either of their fucking.
Was Nagash a member of Sigmar's clergy?
No, he was a member of the priesthood of.
He was actually part of Cetra's. He was actually part of Cetra's priesthood, or the priesthood of like the Undying or some shit. And then when
this sounds like a fantastic episode in the future for In Your Face.
Sounds like a great lore episode specifically.
We don't do lore. We're a competitive podcast. We only do this on other people's podcasts.
Well, I gotta say, for In Your Face Media, which is coming up, which is going to, much like the Frostheart Phoenixes of Cities of Sigmar, we like to come back out with, or maybe. Not Frostheart. Did Frostheart come back too?
No, Frosthearts do not come back.
Oh, I'm full of shit. Tight. Cool. So like Phoenix is like like high elf and or high-ish elf, elf, and Cities of Sigmar. We can come back with extra wounds upon death, and in this instance, we have a lot on our store. We're going to continue to give you guys a weekly podcast. We are also going to offer you guys unboxing videos, Battletome reviews, tactic reviews, our regular Sunday stream games between Age of Sigmar and AOS, maybe not both at the same time, between Jeremy and I, or maybe even John and
those are the same games, by the way. You said
Age of Sigmar 40K.
Yeah, there you go.
Age of Sigmar and 40K. Age of Sigmar and 40K. My bad, you guys. And of course, we are going to do a lot more even opinion videos. Things that are not just going to be a part of the podcast. So we have a lot to share with you guys and a lot to show you guys. And I'm personally just very excited for it. So yeah, it's John. You're not recording.
I'm the worst. I turned it off so I don't make noise in the background. But I'm saying we might even have awesome doggy videos.
We might even have awesome doggy videos. Perfect. I love it. This dog, which one is this? It's the older one. It's your dog.
It's the older one. Yeah. This is Stormy.
All right. For people who are only listening to this, I highly recommend you watch the videos because Garrett's almost consistently got a cute ass doggo or two in his videos. I very rarely have a cute cat, but we're going to try to improve on that. And really, we don't see a lot of other furry fur babies besides that. Sometimes Jeremy and John will share theirs, but besides that, it's been pretty good so far.
Mine are very they demand a lot of attention, so mine will always probably be on. One of them will.
Okay. So before we wrap things up here, because this is a slightly shorter episode, I've mentioned a variety of different things. I just disappeared. I just mentioned a variety of different things that I'm excited about regarding In Your Phase, which is going to be, of course, what's going to be coming out from all of this. But John, let's start with you. One final time. What are you excited about for In Your Phase?
I am excited to have a little bit expanded topic range. We all have stayed very focused on Age of Sigmar, a game that we love. I think all of us are going to stay centric to Age of Sigmar. Even though it's funny, I myself at no point have stopped playing 40K. So on a monthly basis, I get in 2 to 3 games of 40K, 2 to 3 games of Age of Sigmar. At no point have I played any of that stuff. I own enough armies, I got to play everything. So for me, I'm looking forward to being able to talk a little bit more about 40K, which I play on the regular, in addition to Age of Sigmar. Beyond that, there's a lot of other things that I think all of us do. Live streaming that Jeremy does. I tune in on that a little bit. A little bit of live streaming games that Garrett does. I don't tune in on that. Beyond that, I even do some things video-wise, and I'm looking forward for all of that to bundle together and be one larger media presence that we can share with you. We have 4 of us that are impassioned, Warhammer enthusiasts, both Age of Sigmar and 40K. We have some of us that are amazing players. We have some of us that are amazing technical people and know their rules and run stuff. And we have some of us that are amazing hobbyists. And between the 4 of us, we have all the 4 pillars of 40K and Warhammer and Age of Sigmar and Games Workshop games in general, because I even play Battlefleet Gothic and stuff like that covered for you. And so I'm just looking forward to have a bigger embrace and a bigger share of my love of the Warhammer hobby and all the different ways that I can get in your phase with my my enjoyment of Warhammer. And with that, who's next? Is that you, Alex? Are you the last man up?
No. I mean, Jeremy.
I already went.
You already went?
Alex now wants us to talk about what we're looking forward to next versus what
we're round 2.
I thought I covered that in my first previous. All right.
Well, you can mention it again.
Wow, damn it. Putting me on the spot now.
Just we on the spot.
You know what I'm looking forward to the most is actually going to an event with all of us together. That's what I'm fucking looking forward to most. I don't really give a shit how successful we are, because I know we're going to be successful. I just want to actually have an event at some point post this COVID-19, whatever it's fucking called now. But I will say on a more technical term, what I'm looking forward the most is having more stream games I can watch that is not my stream games.
Garrett.
Well, perfect your shit so I can just steal it once it's done.
Oh, just like every great engineer and app developer. Steve
Why
Jobs.
reinvent the wheel?
Bill Gates.
Why reinvent the wheel?
Dude, you guys talk about my salt. Holy shit.
No, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. We will be streaming more video game content as well. That's with Warhammer related.
Jeremy and I just started a Total War Warhammer game today that we can probably
we're just really bad at being
so bad.
wait, real quick. What campaigns? What are you guys both playing as?
I'm playing.
We're playing as bitter enemies, but we're co-op. I'm Azak the Slaughterer, and you're
Ungrim Iron Fist.
So we're like our territories start next to each other as the Slayer and the orc guy that wears the Crown of Death. And so we're doing co-op, and so I'm just going to go kill all the vampires. He's going to go kill all the orcs.
Why?
Why not?
Okay. I'm
Why
about
not?
this close to finally finishing my high elf campaign. So.
I mean, like we're just playing for like
we're
for
just
us.
playing
It's for fun, and also this like I have never the last few times we played campaigns, Alex, between you and me solo. I've only ever done auto resolved in battles because
I'm making him
Like,
actually.
you and I
fight
have never done
battles now.
co-op.
yeah, we did. Well, we did
No, we
head to
didn't.
head. We didn't do co-op.
No, we've never done head-to-head either. I've only done head-to-head with Dayton before. You and I have never played Total War.
I thought you played the dinosaurs when I played the elves. Anyway, either way, it doesn't matter. I'm getting into the mix of it. We're getting into the mix of it. We're gonna stream it, and then you can hear me and Garrett wade ourselves through unsuccessful battle, or we're in easy mode and we're barely scraping by.
Are you serious?
I've had every battle be a decisive victory, Jeremy. I just want to let you know that.
You can save and then resume co-op?
Yeah, of course you can.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course you can. I mean, the reason I've been playing in an auto resolve because I've been treating this game like it's Civilization, but it's not. So,
It's not. It's not. I can't tell you how many times.
It's a
I can't
worse civilization at that point, like a really bad civilization.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen the auto resolve go all the way in your opponent's favor, or like the AI's favor, and then you're like, but it's a siege battle, and then you play the siege battle and you absolutely decimate your attacker, and you're just like, so why would auto resolve automatically make?
it just means Sony's really bad at developing that button.
Creative assembly.
When you have an extremely so overwhelming of a win that it's not worth playing it. You know, like two armies versus half an army. Like, why even play that? Just auto resolve and move on.
I will say that after playing against my Fyreslayers on Sunday, I was just like, I'm gonna play as Ungrim Iron Fist, Last Slayer King, and I'm just like, he's always been my favorite Warhammer Fantasy Lord, and I'm just like, why did I ever stop playing Fyreslayers? Why did I ever stop?
Because you kept winning. Winning got too boring.
That's okay. Maybe
we've been playing a lot of Vermintide as well, and we've done the Twitch Vermintide thing where our listeners can go in and also see what we have to interact with and be like, are we going to get health regeneration or do we have to fight a fucking chaos spawn? Which is awful.
Or a Minotaur. Just throw Minotaurs at us.
Just throw a Minotaur into an area with a bunch of cliffs. That's a great idea.
I wish we recorded it, but the one deed we played where you have to have the entire group stay near each other.
It was an absolute
and the map
fail.
keeps throwing you like bomb rats that like suicide explode and spread you apart.
John's not aware of this
because
it's a first-person shooter. Garrett will be fully aware of this. There was a deed. So the deed is a special mission.
That's my favorite.
I wish it was on Twitch because it would have been way worse when people could vote for what we encountered. So there was a special deed, which is a special mission, and there were two requirements that were a part of it. The first of which was every time there's a horde, there's going to be a random squad or like a large group of Skaven slaves with explosives on their backs. So when they explode or they get too close to you, they're going to explode and you're going to go flying. You actually do go flying. In addition to that, everyone in the party has to stay very close to each other, essentially maybe 3 meters in order to not take constant damage. And that constant damage isn't a slow trickle. It's like immediate, like you're in lava, like boom, 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 like you're dead. So like you can't not be away from your party for more than like 5 or 6 seconds. So when you have to be next to your party at all times, and you're constantly being exploded away from your party, fucking sucks. However, I have not been playing with people lately because I've been playing a little later at night, and I've been playing on like legendary mode and beyond. And holy shit, those games are very different. And we need to start playing those.
Well, John, I know you can't actually watch, but what you could do is to turn on the stream and then cover everything except for the bottom, like tiny sliver where you'll see the voting come up. It's just the bottom, just so you can see the voting, and then you could just vote and listen to us yell and scream.
Okay.
Like that's all you have to do is just cover everything but the little bottom sliver where like the health bar is. All you gotta do is see that, and you could still then see the votes and vote.
I could do that.
So you could be like, do I want them to get a bunch of loot rats, which is good health, or do I want them to get regen? Or instead of that, it could be like, do I want them to get, a Minotaur or a fucking Storm Fiend? And it's like, in this instance, there's a lot of cliffs. A Storm Fiend is okay, but a Minotaur really ruined their day. I want to ruin their day. Let's fucking do it. Like,
can I pick even better stuff? Can I bring in like a Warpseer?
No, it's basically Jeremy sets it up, and it's like every 30 seconds we have 40 seconds.
37 seconds.
Every 37 seconds, you have 40 seconds to complete the vote, and it's one of two options. It's just like, are they going to fight, a Minotaur or a Storm Fiend? Are they going to fight a bunch of wizards or a bunch of hookers?
Hookers? You mean stranglers? Stranglers.
They're hookers.
I vote hookers every time. It sounds awesome.
Hookers.
He votes for hookers every single time, people.
And they have fun names like Wrath of the Stampede or, the Zenith Twins. Is like every vote has like a weird name. It's fun. It's Twitch interaction. It's cool. You could probably watch, just like take a screen window of something you're working on and cover the whole screen except for the bottom sliver. And then all you got to do is like not look to type your vote and then pop it back open.
I'll put a Post-it on my phone and just that'll be good.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That being said, I mean, we have all this stuff to review with you guys, and I can't preface this enough. We, thank you for, listening in and participating and downloading our previous episodes and being a part of the wide world of wargaming just as a whole. We have so much to show you guys and so much to offer you at In Your Face Media, including everything that we've mentioned today. We have even more on the horizon as we do review more things with you guys. So again, thank you so much for being a part of this, helping us continue to grow as individuals, as hosts, as media producers. We are so excited to show you guys some more content, and there's so much more on the line. So from the bottom of my heart, again, thank you so much. And we all love and appreciate you guys to a certain extent.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Bye.
Have a great night.